and welcome to the 200 megawatt strong podcast, where we delve into the world of renewable energy. In today's episode, we are going to be exploring more about the significant projects as well as the technological advancements that shape this dynamic sector. Now, today we would like to talk a little bit more about projects as well as advancements in this sphere. We understand that the solar landscape is evolving faster than ever before, and there are countless innovations that are coming in to shape this vibrant sector. So could you tell us a little bit more about the key innovations that have shaped solar energy in the past few years?
Absolutely, yes. The solar panels industry evolving rapidly. The efficiency of the solar panels, they have improved the efficiency of the panels, which makes we can generate more energy using the same space. It means we can make our investments cost effective and more efficient compared to the previous technologies. And smart inverters is the latest improvement they have introduced to the market, which enables to convert solar power more efficiently to the supply and enabling integrating solar power in effective manner to the grid. When you're talking about the manufacturing process, the industries have introduced automated systems to streamline their process, which reduce the cost of making panels and giving more access to people and invest on the solar panels and solar projects with feasible outcomes. Then microgrids, those are localized small-scale power grids which can operate locally and also with the connection of the main grid. Thing is, we can integrate renewable energy such as solar, including batteries, which we can generate cleaner energy to the rural communities and giving them the opportunity to use the electricity. Then again, the latest development of solar cells is porosity solar cells, which has more reliability for internal damages as well as the lesser cost compared to the traditional solar cells. Hopefully, it will be the next step of solar cells industry in the world.
Wow. Do you have anything to add to that, Deshan?
So to elaborate on microgrids, you can also incorporate hydrogen and wind also in a very small micro scale rather, so that all the energy is more for critical applications or off-grid or rural applications. The energy is more secure and the clients or the users has the ability to go on-grid or off-grid depending on the situation that it calls for. And the highest development, the latest technology that is creating all the buzz is green hydrogen, where solar energy is used to create hydrogen, which is a clean burning fuel. And this hydrogen can be stored so that it can be converted back into power later using fuel cells, or it can be used to burn clean energy, and it has the potential to decarbonize the transport and energy infrastructure as well. So we know about ground-mounted solar systems, which has been there for some time, but we have a new innovation where you have on the structure side of this. Now, Nisala spoke on the inverters and the panels, but on the structure side of things, we also have the innovation where you have flexible structures and you have structures mounted on cables, which make implementing solar on a wide variety of land structures where it was not economically feasible before, such as rocky and other different terrains. So we also have a new innovation where you have agrivoltaic systems. Before we had hybrid solar systems where you had a small scale agricultural implementation under a solar canopy. But here we have integrated solar into a full scale plantation. So we did a pilot project in Sri Lanka where we implemented transparent solar panels for over a tea plantation. So we expect the transparent solar panels to filter the sunlight coming down to the crops, and which creates a microclimate which a cooler microclimate, which reduces the evaporation and gives the plants a more stable source of irradiation with the integrated growth LEDs that we have installed. So that not only increases the yield of the plantation, it also enhances the quality of the product that is developed. And also the excess energy that is produced goes to power the homes of the rural villages that live there, enhancing their quality of life. So the latest and the final technology that we want to talk about is batteries. So this comes in a wide variety from the largest to the smallest, where you have the domestic, commercial and industrial, and the highest, which are utility grade battery and energy storage systems. So as Hayleys, where we have been groundbreaking, we have implemented the first and the largest energy storage system in Sri Lanka, which amounts to 2 megawatt hours in Colombo, right here in Colombo. And that is also a microgrid where we implement solar, battery, and also the grid is available cooperated with the diesel generator. So the battery alone being 2 megawatt hours allows the client to have energy independence with no other source for 24 hours run. So those are the advancements, which also helps to absorb the solar energy during the day and produce the electricity during the night, where the solar has a main weak point where it has only energy production during the day. So this eliminates that.
Fantastic. I mean, it's so interesting to hear about the innovations, and I was especially very impressed with the agrivoltaic system. Yes, I mean, that's pretty impressive. Now, solar energy is increasingly being used in a variety of sectors, and I also recently heard about solar-powered solutions for telecommunication towers. So could you tell us a little bit more about this solution?
So in Sri Lanka, and I think worldwide, rural electrification of towers are done through diesel generators, which are costly and more polluting to the environment. So recently, about a year back, we did a project with one of the leading telecommunication providers in Sri Lanka, where we retrofitted over 1,000 towers in Sri Lanka with solar power. So solar power coupled with battery storage can provide uninterrupted energy security for these towers so that they can operate during a power cut or to reduce the reliance on diesel. Because these are on either mountaintops or rural, difficult to reach areas with non-motorable roads. So the frequency of transporting diesel to these sites are also reduced with the incorporation of solar energy and batteries.
Wow, that's certainly a game changer, especially when it comes to improving connectivity in the rural areas. Now, in addition to solar solutions for telecommunication towers, I've also heard about floating solar solutions. So can you tell us a little bit more about how floating solar is different from your traditional solar system?
Yes, floating solar, or known as photovoltaic systems, which enables to use water body surface for using solar panels to generate energy. In this technology, we use surface of the water body like reservoirs, lakes, or even we can use oceans, shallow oceans also. Putting a floating structure on top of the water body and placing panels on top of that, we can use the area to generate energy. The advantage of this technology, we can minimize using the land areas which are more useful for agriculture and other relevant activities. If you are considering urban areas, we don't have much land for solar power generation. So considering the land value, probably a ground mount solar will not be a feasible project. So in that case, floating solar is a good solution for countries like Sri Lanka, which are having small land areas for solar generation. Only where we have the places where we have higher potential with solar energy. Recently, we installed a pilot project at Hayleys Fabric, one of our sister company. The aim is to evaluate the efficiency of floating solar and stability of the floating structures, and to improve the technology for the better future of Sri Lanka. For a country like Sri Lanka, I think floating solar has a good future because of the limitations we have for land use in Sri Lanka.
That's interesting. I think it's quite remarkable to note how solar energy is adapting itself to fit various contexts, whether it's ground mounted or it's floating, solar energy is there for all. Can you also tell us a little bit more about the challenges and perhaps even opportunities that lie down the road when we use all of these technological advancements?
In Sri Lankan context, we have a couple of challenges, especially the grid stability. When we are integrating solar for the national grid, grid should have good capability to take over the solar generation with the intermittence of the solar power. So integrating batteries with solar system will be a good solution for the intermittence of solar. Then we can store more energy during the daytime and use at the peak hours when we require. Then again, the space or the land availability for solar installations. As a country like Sri Lanka, the land is more useful for agriculture and other related activities. So floating solar and rooftop solar is the viable solution at this context. So if you are using land for solar installation for ground mount solar, we should have a proper plan how to minimize the conflict with other parties who are responsible for especially in the agriculture sector and the government. Then again, when I consider policies implemented for renewable projects, especially for solar, I think they have more opportunities to improve providing incentives and making relationship with global parties to invest in the country and give the maximum potential for the solar generation of the country. And
also looking at the road ahead, I think we really need to reconsider the energy infrastructure and the grid, or focus on strengthening the grid that we have. So be it adding new transmission lines, new grid substations to collect the energy that is being generated, especially in line with the renewable energy targets that are set forth by the government to be achieved in the coming future. So I think we also need to think about long-term planning, how and when we are going to phase out the fossil fuel and how we are going to incorporate more renewables into the grid and where, so that we can do the planning and do the infrastructure upgrades that are required. And also we need to talk about the collaborations with other parties, so be it government, private, or government-to-government collaborations. For example, to have the best security or the most cost-effective energy security would be for us to tie into India using a submarine or overseas cable, so that we have a more reliable grid with a higher absorption capacity for the renewables. So that is something that we need to look at in the future. And also the energy storage, as Nisala said, is very important because the renewable energy is only there during the day. So the excess energy needs to be captured and stored and then used during the peak or during any other time that is needed, so that the grid has a higher energy security, which can also provide for any faults that may occur using the new high-speed inverters that come with the best systems. And also, I think the incentivizing of flexibility, where the new policies come in, as Nisala said, so that the people who are willing to invest in energy storage and other means of storing energy are incentivized through more attractive rates, so that we can attract more investors into the country. So I think that's how the challenges and how we need to overcome those challenges in the future.
Right. Thank you for giving us your insights on the challenges as well as the opportunities. And I think judging by this conversation, it's safe to say that solar energy does have a bright future in our country. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining us and talking to us about the technological advancements, the ambitious projects that we have in the solar realm. And that's all we have time for in this time's episode. We'll see you in the next. Until then, live a life full of light with Hayleys Solar.